the area that we consider ground zero is surrounded by a fence, and the proposed Islamic Center is several blocks from there in a really dense business district. It's a lot like every other New York neighborhood. You can cross a street and feel like you've just walked into a different country. Every block is a little bit different, and the blocks several steps away from the World Trade Center site can have no connection to the site whatsoever. And Lower Manhattan in particular is so dense and goes through changes so fast, and there's so much history here of things being torn down and new things being built on top of them, that it's a patchwork quilt. So I took a day with my camera, took a couple hours and walked around and took pictures of these buildings and just put them up on my blog without a lot of commentary, but just to sort of show people, yeah, there's some things that maybe you don't know about this project. Right across the street from the World Trade Center site is this plaza. It's filled with vendors selling t-shirts and food carts, trucks, construction workers eating lunch, tourists. It's busy, it's bustling. It's not some place you'd really describe as hallowed. New York obviously hasn't forgotten about 9/11. Those of us who walk by this construction fence every day, you know, still feel tremendous grief. But at the same time, on the other side of the fence, life continues. This is a busy, busy part of the city. It's filled with people going to work every day and doing their jobs. It's not a place where everyone is wallowing in grief. It's not a place where everybody spends all day talking about September 11th.
And double it. That's how tall the World Trade Center was.
So you've got down here a lot of places you can buy, you know, Ground Zero hats and World Trade Center related memorabilia. But until they finish the memorial on the other side of the construction fence, there's very few places people can go to kind of just participate and be part of the site. It's still blocked off and surrounded by a fence. You walk just 2 blocks from the World Trade Center site and you see a really typical New York City block like this, where you have a whole bunch of different stores, some open, some closed, all built on top of old stores that used to be there. It's just a really dynamic, changing, messy part of the city. It's still a neighborhood, and it's still, you know, much like every other neighborhood. There's stores, there's places to eat. It's just people getting stuff done. You know, it's just like the rest of New York, really. This is Park Place. This is the block where the proposed Islamic Center is supposed to go, and it's going to be in this building, which is a former Burlington coat factory store. You walk by and it's a sort of a blank space in the street. There's a lot of empty storefronts down here. So anything opening that brings more life to the neighborhood, that's a plus. But I guess I want to stress it doesn't matter whether it's an asset to the neighborhood or not. You know, when somebody wants to put a building somewhere, we say, do you own the property? Do you have the permits? We don't ask them, what's your religion? And I feel like that's the only issue that would prevent someone from putting Islamic Community Center there, is people are uncomfortable with their faith. And that to me is just fundamentally wrong. It doesn't matter whether I think that building is sensitive or in good taste. What matters is it legal to put that building there, and it absolutely is.